Hello everyone, my name is Chay Sorkin from ChaysMovieReviews, and I've just come back from seeing Looper. I know I was supposed to review Resident Evil Retribution 3D for you guys, but that just didn't happen. I didn't manage to see it, so I will be seeing that next week, and I went to see Looper instead, so let's get into reviewing that.
In the future, time travel is outlawed, used only in secret by the largest criminal organizations. When they need someone gone, and they want to erase any trace of the target ever existing, they use specialized assassins, like me, called loopers.
So Looper is directed by Rian Johnson, the same director of the movie Brick, which is very highly acclaimed, and a couple of other Breaking Bad episodes, and a couple of other movies I've never seen or heard of. He's known to be a good director and a good writer, and he wrote and directed Looper, so I was very excited to see this movie. So what is Looper about? Looper is set in the world of 2044, where time travel hasn't been invented yet, but in the future it has. It got outlawed straight away and nobody can use it, and the only people that do use it are mobsters and crime bosses that want to get rid of people. So because they can't get rid of people in the future because everybody's lowjacked to fuck, they basically get these people, they put sacks over their head, they put the money around their chest to give to the Looper, and then they send them back in time, and then a Looper is waiting with their blunderbuss and they blow them away and take the money. And the Loopers don't know who they are, they don't know what they did, they don't know what they did to deserve to be killed, they just know that they have to kill them to get paid. One day, Joseph Gordon-levitt, Joe, is waiting for his loop to come back, and it turns out it's his future self, who's Bruce Willis, who's older Joe, and he manages to get the drop on younger Joe, who's Joseph Gordon-levitt, keep track here, and manages to escape, and it becomes a huge manhunt, and everybody's after Joseph Gordon-levitt and Bruce Willis, and shit just goes down. Now, that could have been just the story, but there is a whole other amount of shit going on here that I don't want to spoil for you. The story is just amazing. Now, the trailers, they hide so much. They make it completely look like a different movie than it actually is, which is a very good thing because some of the things that happen in this movie will blow your fucking mind. Let's get into the story. Now, the writing here is amazing. I know the movie's about time travel, and you'd think that'd get kind of, you know, convoluted or kind of mind-racking, and you wouldn't be able to get your mind around it, but don't be scared. They don't talk about time for too long. They know that if they do, they're gonna have to explain a lot of stuff, and it'll basically just make you get bored and you'll just not understand it, so they kind of keep that to a minimum. The whole movie is kind of a character piece and a thriller set around Joe's character and older Joe. Now, you may think, why would younger Joe want to kill older Joe when he knows that, you know, it's going to be him in the future that's getting killed? Well, that's the whole point about the movie. The movie shows how different these two people are. You may think, well, they're the same person. Older Joe knows a lot, knows everything that younger Joe is going to go through. Younger Joe is not young and naive, and he thinks that, you know, a load of that he's untouchable, really. So these two have a great dynamic working off each other. It's basically one big problem met in one time period between two of the same people. Just think about that for a second. Did what I just say blow your mind? Because this movie is made to blow your mind. Let's talk about the acting. Now, I swear to God, Joseph Gordon-levitt, this guy is gonna be a fucking star. This guy is a great actor. If I could meet the dude, I'd ask him out for a beer. He's seriously, in this movie, he is Bruce Willis. The makeup, I know people had a lot of shit to say about the makeup. The makeup really didn't bother me. Once you kind of adjust to it and get used to the fact that he is wearing this makeup, you just don't notice. It's just, he plays such a good Bruce Willis. The way his mannerisms are, the way he talks, even does the little like flinches with his eyes. And, basically, he imitates Bruce Willis so well that you could believe that he is past Bruce Willis. Joseph Gordon-levitt, seriously, he's going to be a star. He's going to be one of those old dude actors that everybody's going to remember, and that everybody's going to say, that guy's an amazing actor. Let's talk about Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis in this movie, actually really good. Usually he's, you know, he's in action films, he doesn't have to do a lot of acting. But in this film, he actually pulls it out of the bag here. He's very good. His emotions are shown through. And these two are such great actors in this movie that when they show their differences, it's just so fun to watch. It's just riveting, seriously, riveting stuff. You know, set in the future. They don't bash you over the head with the future stuff in this movie. I mean, it's not as bad as some movies, you know, where they constantly throw crap at your face. Look, it's the future, look, shiny stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's just a really stylishly, well-executed future. I mean, there's little things that are different, but, you know, it's only 2044, so only a few things are going to be changed, and they show that well. The future's actually pretty cool, if I must say so myself. A couple of standout performances. Emily Blunt plays Sarah. I'm not going to tell you about her character because that would just kind of ruin the movie for you, but she's a very good actress in this movie. I think she's one of the stars of the movie. I've seen her in a couple of other things, and this movie's definitely one of her best films, like her best acting performances anyway in any film she's ever been in. Jeff Daniels is in it as a crime boss. He's a great actor in this movie. Every scene he's in, he just steals the show. He had a couple of scenes, but every scene he was in, amazing. Overall, all the acting in this movie was just above the bar and just so far away from the bar that you can't even see it anymore. All the effects, everything was just amazing. It had a killer ending. Seriously, one of the best endings I've seen this year so far. You will not see this shit coming. I just had a great time with this movie. I mean, the acting was fine, the direction, amazing. This movie could have been extremely gimmicky. It could have just like ruined itself by spending the whole time looking at gadgetry, looking at all the future stuff. But majority of the film, you spend the time with younger Joe. In fact, Bruce Willis's character, the older Joe, you don't see him a lot. Younger Joe gets most of the screen time, and this really gets to show off the differences between older Joe and younger Joe, and it's just so fun to watch. It's so cool to see how they work, like loopers, how they work, how the system kind of works around that shit. It's just so much fun to watch. I mean, I never got bored throughout the movie. Now, I think this movie is perfect. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I think this movie is definitely one of the best movies of this year, and is definitely a contender for best movie of the year. But I'm gonna say this, I love the movie because I don't mind watching and sitting through dialogue for a long time. Now, I know that there's gonna be some people that would hate that. This movie, it really slows down. I'm saying really slows down about a third in, when it hits a certain point and it just slows down. And there's just a lot of dialogue, a lot of character work, you know, just a lot of fitting out the story to get to the ending. Some people may find this boring. I remember sitting in the cinema and there was a guy next to me who just looked like he wanted to fall asleep. I know it's going to happen to some people. Now, if you can't handle that kind of stuff where it's just dialogue and a character development for a while before it hits more action, then I think you could get bored at a certain part in this movie and not think it was a good movie. And I understand that, because some people are just there for action, some people are just there to see all the cool effects and stuff. If you're here for a good story, and you're here for excellent acting, then you are definitely in for a treat here. You cannot miss out on this movie, seriously. Now, if you miss out on this movie for Taken 2, you should be ashamed. That's my review. Hope you enjoyed. See you guys later.